Hi. I don't think there's music on this scene. Okay, well, I'll just switch over to the other scene. Okay. There should be music now. Um, Hi. Okay. Um, so I've had to change up my drawing situation today because this drawing is so big. And so I had to pull out my old drawing board that I used to draw on, um, so that I could fit it. And so that meant moving every camera around and just changing everything. Um, and then I had to move my face cam, and then I broke the tightening mount on it. So there's the ball that it goes over, and I broke the ring that goes around that. So it kept slipping. So it's very precariously holding on to the top of my monitor. Excuse me. Hi, Punch Cactus. So it's a slightly different view of the room today, and you can see cameras and microphones and things on the screen just because it's a slightly different view than normal. And I haven't drawn on this big old thing in some time. I am very ambitiously starting the largest drawing I have done in colored pencil. I've done some real big graphite drawings and stuff before, but I've never done a colored pencil drawing this size. So this is 18 inches by 24 inches. So it's a big boy. And you can see above is kind of the vibe that we are going for. So that's a Procreate mock-up idea of what it is I will be attempting. So yeah, that's what we're shooting for. It will not be done today. A friend of mine, I showed it a friend of mine, and she was like, what's the goal here? Is this for a special thing, for a show? What are you trying to do? And I'm like, I don't really know what I'm trying to do with it. I just felt like starting something large, maybe as a potential showpiece for any upcoming show. So I don't really know. And this current situation isn't really gonna work. I think I should bring over that card. Hang on. Excuse me, Maisie. I gotta bump into your space real quick. I'm so sorry. I know I'm invading on your space. Mean mommy. Oh, I schmutzed up this mat. Nice. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh no, all my business cards. Okay. Oh, it's heavier than I thought. Okay. I'm just not loving the current placement of my box of moths. Hi, Pico. Welcome in. I'm just kind of getting set up. I had to move around things today in order to make this drawing. And I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I want it all set up, because I have my box of pencils and I'm left-handed, so I need to be able to access them easily, and my keyboard and everything. So Oh, was it from Kirby? I don't have the list of songs up, but yeah, this is ooh, I just like popped my knee. Um the music I'm playing is all by um Game Chops, and they do like stream safe remixes of Nintendo music and other video games and stuff. So they're cool. Um, okay. All right, so I think that's good. I did scooch this over. All right, we're just gonna go for it. And that's a real intense glare. um, the world is still pretty dominated by right-handed people. So I think it might just be a coincidence that uh you're seeing me as a left-handed person. But I do hear that a lot. Um, you know, the whole like left brain, right brain thing, and whichever way, you know, that you know, when you're left-handed, you use your right brain more, and that's more creative. And I mean, I'm no scientist, but I feel like I've heard that that's like old science, and that doesn't really matter anymore. So I'm really kind of nervous about this drawing. I've been texting a lot of friends about it and asking for their advice and suggestions and just everything about it, because though it's not much of an environment, it has a lot more of an environment than I usually do. Because usually what I do is like at the most like the branch that a bird is sitting on or something, but this has like water, which I'm notoriously not a fan of, and then it also has like these like reeds and grass and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm getting myself into a lot here. I think so. I'm a little nervous about it. Um, um, yeah, video game music is definitely really great. I was listening to a YouTube video um last night, and it was like rainy aesthetic, but it had Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild music, and it was like every other song, which was really cool because I like both of the soundtracks of those games. And so it was kind of nice to not have to commit to one and to get both of them. Um, so I was really enjoying that mix last night. I hope I saved it so that I can go back and find it later. Okay. Also, so in the reference that I have posted above, that's like my Procreate sketch. I have it as like a pink background right now, but when I was designing it, actually I think I have it in my camera roll. When I was designing it, I was like, I'm open to multiple options. So I made this like lime green, a red, the hot pink, brown, dark red, black, and then this morning I was like, well, what if I did it in metal leaf? Like I have silver leaf and I have gold leaf. It's not actually silver or gold, it's just metal that's like made to look like it. And I love metal leaf. So I was kind of like playing with that around too, but then I worried that it might be too busy. It might just be like too much. But absolutely down to hear anyone's thoughts on like what a good color could be. Music is a little too loud for me. Let me know if the music is good with y'all. Enjoy your alert, Pico. We'll be here. Oh, I need a test sheet. That's what I need. Yes. Okay, so I did my workshop on Thursday. And I like was working on this cardinal drawing and I was really into it, and then I tried to erase something with my kneaded eraser and I like smeared something across the page and then it wouldn't erase at all, so I completely messed up this drawing. So that's gonna be our our tester sheet today. Burgers, yum. I love burgers. So this is an unusual Sunday stream for me because it's now like 3:45. Normally, I go over to my parents' house for Sunday night dinners. Like when they'll get off work and then I'll go hang with them. But both of them just tested positive for COVID. So I'm not going over there, and I was kind of worried that maybe I had gotten them sick because when I came back from New York, we were leaving last Friday, and I remember I was at breakfast with my mom and I was like, man, I have a sore throat. And I'd been like taking medicine and everything, and I was kind of worried that I got them sick. And when my dad told me he tested positive for COVID, I took a test and it tested negative. So, and I was still like, I'd been having extremely mild symptoms of whatever it was I had. So I just had like the sore throat for the first 2 days, and then I was just like, I wasn't like congested, but I was just like constantly needing to blow my nose. I could still breathe freely, but I just was in constant need of blowing my nose. And then I had like a super light cough. So I didn't really think it was anything. I thought it was just like a really mild cold. And it may still have been a super mild cold. And I had similar symptoms a few weeks ago, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're just allergies. So I don't know. But I tested on Friday and it said negative. My dad tested on Friday, he got positive. My mom tested, I guess, this morning and she got a positive. So I've already ordered more tests because I ran out. So probably by the time they come, it'll be too late. But anyways, hoping that I tested negative and I still would be like within the time frame that if I had gotten them sick, it would show positive. So like I still feel pretty confident that I've gone 3 years without getting COVID that I know of, like confirmed COVID. Like I just kind of felt like coming back from New York, I didn't really feel like I was sick. I just kind of felt like I just had an ick, which is definitely a technical term. Doctors use it all the time. But yeah, they'll be fine. My mom has had COVID before, and I asked her how she felt, and she was like, this feels pretty mild compared to the last time she had it. So, um, that's good. I am up to date on all my shots. I got my 4th shot like 3 weeks ago, so I'm good. After all this time, your partner and you finally caught it. Ugh. Yeah, I have been sick in the last 3 years. So I had the flu, I had a sinus infection, and then I had some colds. But I haven't taken a COVID test every time I've been sick, but every time I have taken a COVID test, it has been negative. Like, you know what I mean? I just, it just makes me really believe that I may be immune. And that's just kind of the superpower that I've been pretending that I have had for the last 3 years. It's a joke I've been having. I know that that's not a thing, but I like, because when COVID, like within the first month or two of COVID, someone like published a study that they were saying that people with O negative blood tend to be like less likely to get COVID, and I have O negative blood, so I was like, oh nice, I'm immune. And so for the last 3 years I've been joking that I'm immune because I have never like actually been diagnosed with COVID. Oh no. Yeah, I the first year of COVID, this is gonna sound terrible. When I say it was great, I mean it was great in that, I got to be home and not around anybody and I wasn't sick.
Morg
Morgan!
Design just
Hi hi!
resubscribed for 9 months.
We're talking about
Ayo.
COVID. Um, so when I don't mean that COVID was awesome. I mean that like, the quarantine was great. I wasn't sick. It was like a whole year I wasn't sick. And then as soon as I started going back and teaching in the classroom, it's just been like a constant, endless stream of illness for the last 2 years, with this past year being the worst. I've been sick like at least 8 times in the last calendar year, maybe more, and it's really frustrating. Oh yeah, like you haven't had the colds to like keep you strong. Thank you for 9 months, Morg. Oh, Andrew, why are you calling me now? Hang on. Your girlfriend's immunosuppressed, super careful until last month. Yeah, masks do like I absolutely see the benefit of them. They're great. I don't wear them. I haven't worn them in a while, and I know it's an incredibly selfish thing to do, but I don't know. It's a lot of things to think about as far as just I live in Florida and people get weird when you like do wear masks. And I just don't really want to deal with that either. I have made this coot very evil so far. Um, yeah, I probably should have worn a mask when I was in New York, especially like when I was on the subway. And I mean, I definitely know that like whatever it is I picked up is like from, the million people I was near and following and around in the city. And when I was packing, I was like, should I bring a mask? I kind of wish I did. But anyways, how's your Sunday going? What have you got going on in the week ahead of us? I have work all week, like probably most of you. But I get to go to Universal on Friday. I'm taking the day off. So it's Grad Bash. If you don't know what Grad Bash is, it's the day that Universal Orlando closes their doors from like 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. and only high school seniors are like roaming around the park basically. And their teacher chaperones. So I am a teacher chaperone, and so I get basically a free ticket to Universal with fast passes and food and all kinds of stuff like that. And my friend Andrew will be going with us. I'm really excited to see him next week. Or this week. Oh my gosh. um, so it'll be a lot of fun. I did it last year and had the freaking time of my life. Because I used to be a Disney annual pass holder and then canceled that. My like pass was up for renewal in like May 2020, and like I knew I wasn't really going to be able to go considering the state of the world at that time, which is relevant to this conversation, but so I let that lapse. So it's like fun to still get to go and like do um roller coastery theme park stuff and then to get to do it for free. Um so I'm super looking forward to that. And we like so the like everything closes at so the park closes at 2. Like you have to leave at 2. Like they are literally like get out at 2. And but it's like you can't leave before then. It's like the gates don't open for you to leave until 2 because there's like they're trying to keep everybody contained because it's like high school students. So it's very like but they stop letting people into the queues at 1. So if you're not in a line for a ride by 1, you're not getting on the ride, any of them. Which then basically means you have just an hour to sit around and wait, which really sucks. So we didn't know that. So we were like trying to get one last ride in, and they wouldn't let us. So it was Rip Ride Rocket, which is a really cool ride. You get on it and you have a choice of like a bunch of songs to choose from, and it's like the beats per minute of the song is like really high, so it like kind of like keeps you amped up with like the way that the ride goes. Like it's like all curated songs, and it's just it's a really cool ride. Anyways, so I didn't get to ride that one. I was really depressed. So I'm gonna specially request that my friend group ride that early on in the day. And I think I definitely want there to be at least one ride of a Velocicoaster and maybe Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. I thought it was a really cool ride. I think it definitely won. I don't know about multiple. Velocicoaster's sick. I want to destroy them in Men in Black again. Absolutely just demolish my friends. All of these are just gonna roll off. I need like a better situation for this. I think it's time to bring out the tray. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I have to use this so that they don't all slide off. Okay. But what else is going on? What's happening this week? After we come back from Universal, we're doing talent show auditions. And so I've requested to be on the panel of judges for who will get to be in our school's talent show, which I think will be a lot of fun because some of the students at my school are really good at what they do, and so I'm like excited to see what they will bring to the table for that. And then I'm not going to be a judge for the actual show, so I'm just going to like help select who will be in the show, because when the actual show happens, I'm like running around behind the scenes like tallying, because we also have an art portion, and then the judges are like filling out their forms for the live performances. So before the show starts, they judge the artwork, and then the show starts and they're judging the performances. So like at the beginning of the show, I'm running around tallying up all of the scores for the art submissions, and then like seeing who the winners are for that, and then like getting the cards ready, because like they win gift cards for that. And then I'm like sitting on the floor next to the judges table collecting their papers and tallying up all the points and keeping track of like how like the performances like what their score is, so that I can like figure out who the winner is going to be, that because our theater director, she's like emceeing the show, she's busy the whole time, and I'm the one running around making sure that everything's working and getting everyone what they need and everything. It's fun, but it's very stressful for me. So I'm looking forward to, have a chill moment where I can like observe what the kids are going to potentially do, because I don't really get to enjoy the show in the same way that everybody else does, because I'm so like running around tallying things. More vinyl records. We haven't had a record stream in a while. Oh, you put them in the Discord? Let me see. Oh my gosh. The Sunbird one is so cool. Bathe in the sexes. I would like to not. Oh my gosh, so cool. Yeah, so check out my Discord, which I know y'all are in it, but I'm still just gonna, if I can spell Discord and not Discord. I still spelled it wrong. Oh my gosh. Okay. In the media share channel, there's some pics of some vinyl. They don't seem like good songs. Yeah, that's okay. I had pretty low expectations for anything that says, is it bathe in the sexes or bathe of the, I think it says in the sex. What does that mean? I don't want to know what that means. Mark, you got to do another vinyl stream. You haven't done one in a long time. Battle of the Sexes? No, it doesn't say that. Oh, it does say Battle. Battle of the Sexes. It definitely reads bathe in the sexes to me. Yeah, blue text on a blue background. Open it. Let me see it bigger. Oh my god, even when I zoom in, it's almost impossible to read. It so says bathe in the sexes for me. Is that our raid message? Bathe in the sexes? Yeah, it's very fill in the blank there, isn't it? That is a choose your own adventure record. Bottle of the Soxes incoming. Oh, my baby. So I went back into my last stream and clipped the bit of Maisie when she like jumped up on my shoulder and scared me, and I keep forgetting, but I'm gonna turn it into a reel. But I just want to like show it off real quick. Our last time being like hello? Everyone I've shown that to, they're just like, Jordan, your face. I gotta think of a clever caption. I just want to point out the coincidence of the moment in that I had like 30 seconds before then said, sorry, Maisie, I had to remove your Twitch emotes. And then she just was like, because I had been like, I had to remove your Twitch emotes. You don't make enough of an appearance on stream. Because she really doesn't anymore. She doesn't really like to come up anymore. And then in that moment, she like just jumps up on my shoulder like, oh, I don't make an appearance? How about now? It reads Battle of the Sexes, Freddie Hart, Freddie Hart. Wait. It does say that in parentheses. Why? Is there like a male and female Freddie Hart that are battling it out? And that's why it's the. Are they like competing for dominance? It's got to be the Freddie Hart cover of the Freddie Hart Classic. I don't know who Freddie Hart is. Should I know who that is? Is the album called Battle of the Sexes or the song called Battle, or is the song called Freddie Hart? performed by someone named Freddie Hart? Is it a compilation of male and female bands performing the song Freddie Hart? Oh, you're right. Freddie Hart from the hit album or song, we're not sure, Battle of the Sexes? Duh. How could I not have known? All right, we're looking up who Freddie Hart is. Freddie Hart. Freddie Hart was an American musician who died in 2018. Born 1926, died 2018. So he was 91 when he died. Best known for his chart-topping country song and lone pop hit Easy Loving, which won the Country Music Association Song of the Year award in 1971 and 1972. How can you win an award in both years? Like the same award in both years. He later became a gospel singer. Okay. All right, here's his album list. And Battle of the Sexes is not on it. I see nothing about Battle of the Sexes. Well, now it says Battle of the Sexes on Spotify, song and lyrics by Freddie Hart. Battle of the Sexes. Freddie Hart. All right, you ready for this? It seems like it's just one song. This is not good. There's only 30 seconds left. Okay, I'm just calling it. Okay, that was 3 minutes of my life I'm never gonna get back. Yeah, that was definitely a waste of birds. Um, yeah, the whole South will rise again thing. No thank you. Listen, I grew up in North Carolina. Total like Bible Belt area, Dixie flags everywhere. It was a very weird place for me with someone whose parents are from New York and New Jersey. Um, so totally have like grown up hearing people say stuff like that. And, like, especially, when you're in eighth grade learning about the Civil War and things like that, people get weird. Um, yeah, that was really something. Um, yeah, not the image, not the music I had anticipated with that. I definitely was picturing something, yeah, a lot more rock. Yeah, not that. Um, I'm kind of curious about the Rainbow Robin one, Calling for You Again. I mean, that one feels like it's going to be a little bit more hippie, but now I feel like my like music radar is off. Yeah. I would like to never hear that song again. I'm excited about this drawing, but I'm also really nervous about framing it if I like it in the end and like want to put it into shows because the cost of framing this is going to be a bitch. Um, Also, I feel like the gospel to country pipeline is pretty short. I don't really feel like that was much of a stretch. I feel like, going from like death metal to gospel would be a little bit more of a shock. Gangster rap to gospel. But right now, this is very dinosaur. What's the dinosaur that has the big plate on its head? I don't know my dinosaurs. Honestly, you could say almost any dinosaur, and I would be like, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Whatever you say, that sounds right. Maybe this bird is a descendant of that dinosaur. Okay, so I'm reading my book. I just texted my friend about it, but I'm reading my book. I'm reading this book called Ninth House. And I'm like 3 or 4 chapters in. And this book makes no sense. Because the author just like drops you in the middle of the setting as if you already know what's going on. And so much so that when I started reading it, I had to think to myself, I was like, am I reading the sequel? Because I feel like I should already know what's going on, but I'm not. I'm reading the first book and it makes no sense. And a friend of mine at the same time was like, "Oh yeah, I'm reading that book too." And so I just texted her today and I'm ready to give up because I'm like, this book makes no sense. And she's like, same. But all these people like write these rave reviews and say that this book is so great. And I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. Is there like a connected story here? I don't know. But that's my current book update. If I give it up, I don't know what I'm going to read. Yes, I also did think to myself, wow, what a stupid thing to start this in the middle of 100 Birds. But there's an art show opportunity coming up and I don't really have anything for it, so maybe this will be it. I don't really know, but I can still do my day 33 bird later today. The book is called Ninth House. Don't ask me the name of the author because I don't remember. Well, if I can spell, Jesus, Ninth House. It's the same author that wrote the Shadow and Bone series. That's like that thing that's popular on Netflix right now. I watched the first season and didn't really care for it, but and people like really liked those books. Those are more like young adult books, and then this Ninth House book is supposed to be more of her like adult fiction. But it just like page 1 drops you and it's just like it has to do with like magic societies at Yale. Yeah, it's number 1, I know. But it reads like it's not. But it just like drops you right into the middle of it and it just is immediately like using terms and naming characters and places as if you just know what's going on, and it's not giving any background information. And so I'm just like reading it and not understanding, and it's one of those where it's like, well, I guess the explanation's gonna come later, but I've already gone through a few chapters and I'm like, I really haven't learned much more than like what I already know. And the chapters are so long. The chapters are like, so I read on Kindle, and Kindle will like, look at your reading speed and estimate like how long it'll take you to get through a chapter. And these chapters are like 20 to 30-minute long chapters, which I hate. I love chapters that are like no more than 10 minutes because I can just like pick it up real quick, burn through a chapter, put it down if like that's all I have time for. I don't like books that have long chapters. I can't. Because that's like 30 minutes is a lot more to commit to than like 10 minutes or something. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And there's like there's this character that they call Darlington. I'm gonna adjust the camera real quick. So there's this character that they call Darlington. And then later on, you kind of like forget his name because he's not, they kind of just like talk about him. It isn't until like later that he comes in. But they're just like Darlington, Darlington. And then this chapter starts and then they're like Daniel Arlington. And you're reading and I'm like, wait, who's this guy? And then it's like, I'm like, oh, this is, it was just the way it was is like, you're just supposed to just know who that person, it was just, ugh, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. I'm giving it my best effort, but I'm also kind of feeling like I think I'm just gonna give up on it and then move on to something else that I think will be better and not like fight as much with it anymore. Yeah, I was pretty anti ebooks for a while. Um, but I started reading them on my phone. I started using the Libby app because it was like impossible. My problem is that I'll rent books from the library and then forget to return them. And so then I have like a $30 fine on my library account because I just forget to return them. And so I'm like not allowed to check out physical books from the library right now until I pay my $30 fine. And I don't want to pay my $30 fine. But then I found out about Libby. And so then I started reading that. And I didn't want to buy any more books because I don't have the space for it. And I also have the tendency to buy books and then never read them. And I'm trying to not do that. So I started reading on my phone. And yeah, the phone Kindle app can be kind of distracting because like it's on my phone and I can like very easily just like leave and start scrolling through Instagram or something. But very quickly like I bought a new Kindle. And I love it. It's really great. It like fits in my back pocket, which is awesome because sometimes you read these giant books and they're hard to like carry around with you. And it's just really easy for me to like hold and read and I can like lay in all different positions in bed and not be uncomfortable when I'm reading, and it's just really, I like taking it. It's easy to take places. So like I do hear you on the whole like ebook bad thing, but I've been converted and now I just only want to read on Kindle. Like I will go with my friends to the bookstores and they'll buy books and I'll just like take pictures of the books I want to read and then just like add them to my Libby wish list and wait for them to become available so I can read them. But I've read more like in the last 6 months than I have in many, many years. Which is really exciting for me. So I've definitely like am considering reading to be a current hobby right now. Go me. Yeah, it was awesome like being on the plane and having it. And I like sometimes will like fall asleep while I'm reading and you know, if you like drop your book or something and you lose your place, that's really annoying and that like won't happen on the Kindle. What's also really cool is if I'm reading on the Kindle and then I read on my phone or vice versa, when I switch back to the other device, it'll be like, hey, do you want to skip ahead to where you currently are? And I'm like, yes. And it just, I love that. I love that so much. I do like that it shows like, it'll tell you how many pages you're in and like the percentage you're done, but I like the reading speed. So it'll tell me like how many minutes are left in each chapter or how long is left in the entire book. So I'll be like, oh, cool, I only have like an hour left in my book. Like I can polish that off right now. And then I will, and then get the next book. I just think it's really clever. I love it. I love my Kindle. I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other. I just really like talking about my Kindle. Oh my god, 6 books for vacation? No. I would always take a book with me and then never read it because it was just like I'd have to like carry it with me. And also, so I live in Florida and I go to the beach sometimes. I haven't been in a real long time, but reading outside is the worst. Like the wind is blowing, the pages are flipping all over the place. It's horrible. With the Kindle, I don't have to worry about that, which is nice. Hang on, I'm just doing something real quick. Mm, okay, I can hear that. I don't think mine does that. Um, which is nice. I haven't really tested it outside much. I think in the times where I have, it's been fine. But there's like I have like the introductory level um Kindle. But there's like the Kindle Paperwhite. Um, that I know like for sure shouldn't glare. Okay, I'm gonna be really stupid right now, and I just feel like making a change. Okay. I miss my yellow. I can't use my old, for some reason, my older, not my older, but like my bulletin board overlay, um, isn't working. I can't get the cameras to like work right in it. Um, And so I had used this overlay for my workshop on Thursday, and it was the only thing. Even I was having a lot of trouble with it this afternoon. But right now this is the only like desk and face overlay that I can get to work at the same time. But I like my signature yellow. I used green because I thought it would be like really pleasing and not distracting for my workshop, but this is like my signature yellow that's on my website, and I love that. Yeah, Liz is doing the Turkey Vulture Ugly Bird Week thing. I wouldn't consider a coot to be their feet, definitely. Like, their feet are really freaky. I think I saved a picture of their feet to my camera roll. Or I thought I did. Yeah. I mean, no, but coot feet, I don't like it. They're like lobed. That's a bittern. Don't look at that. Oh my god, where are the coots? They have these like lobes on them, and I don't like them. Other than that, I think they're a pretty normal looking bird with a faceplate, but ugly feet for sure. You've never seen one? I have. I haven't seen their feet, but I have seen them. There's they're like a marsh kind of bird. Not your average backyard bird, but there's a stormwater treatment area nearby in my county that I sometimes go on field trips to with my Audubon chapter, and we have them there, and they're always just swimming. I've never seen their feet in real life. I think I'd rather not see their feet in real life. Nova Scotia, yeah, I don't know much about birds of Nova Scotia. What's the American coot range? Cornell, what do we got? Maps. Okay, so actually, I don't know where Nova Scotia is, but this is the range. So blue is non-breeding season, orange is their breeding season, yellow is migration season, and then purple, they live there year round. So I'm like kind of in this weird area where they're both here in non-breeding season and year-round season. So like I guess kind of somewhat both. I don't know. But I don't know Canada very well. I have the piece hanging off of Maine. Okay, like over here. Then yeah, you're not gonna see them. I have both been and not been in Canada. I flew into the Montreal airport, but I did not leave the airport. So I consider that I have been to Canada, but I have also not been to Canada because I did not leave the property of the airport. So take that as you will. So I'm assuming around here. I have to resize my Minesweeper box. Okay. So no American Coots for you. You're gonna have to travel to see it. I loved when I traveled to Italy. We were standing in line to visit the Colosseum. I think I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because I don't care. There are no rules. But I was standing in line for the Colosseum, and one of the, I think he was part of the tour group company. I don't think he worked for the Colosseum, but we bought like, skip the line tickets, and so you have to like, meet up with a random person so they can like give you your ticket. Anyway, so he like worked with this group. And while we were waiting for it to be our turn to enter the Colosseum, he was talking about like American visitors and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, they always like will tell me where they're from, and I don't know where any of that is. I don't know about any of the states. And then he was like, for example, where are you guys from? And we're like, we're from Florida. And he goes, I do know Florida. Because everybody knows Florida because we're that weird state. But yeah, he's like, I know like California and Florida, and like that's it. There are lots of American coots here in the summer, just not birds. Yeah, it's really a terrible name, isn't it? I did not have the nostril drawn in, so I'm just kind of going for it and hoping for the best. Depending on how long I feel like streaming, this may, with their consent, turn into a Stardew stream. So I play Stardew with two of my friends, and we have a little co-op farm. Um, so maybe we could stream that. I don't know how to get it so that I haven't done any research into it of how to like get the Discord voices to work through like OBS or anything. I think they'd probably be fine with streaming it. And I think that could be kind of fun if they want to do that. I wish I could say it's very exciting, but it's really just us being like, Michelle, go to the mine. Allie, go do some fishing. Jordan, harvest the vegetables. I'm the farmer, so I take care of the crops and animals. Michelle's our miner. Obviously, I just kind of explain that. And then, so we've all just kind of given ourselves roles. But we're like we're like halfway through fall of our first year. Our first night playing was last month, and we played for like 6 hours, and we made it through an entire month in the game in one night. Oh my god, I like my back hurts so much. When I stood up from my keyboard, I was like, oh my god. We just like powered through that month. But that game is a lot of fun to play with other people, for sure. I haven't really done too much multiplayer gaming, but I really like it. And so now I want to like do more of that with them, and I also really want to stream it. So, because they're like a fun group. So we've like considered like maybe doing Phasmophobia. They both own it. I don't. I'd have to buy it. But we've considered Phasmophobia. I'm trying to convince them to do um American Truck Simulator with me. It was on sale a few days ago for like $5 or something. I really wish I bought it. I decided I was gonna buy it, and then I went to the Steam store and it wasn't on sale anymore, and I'm like, oh no. Like fine, I'll have to wait till the summer sale, but I think it would be like really funny to play that with them. They drop. Look at that pretty kitty. Yeah. She's beautiful. Ow, I'm stuck. You have 4 cats? That's a lot of litter boxes. I hate doing the litter. I love everything about having a cat except for the litter. Don't do that. I need 7% warm, which I know that's you, but you don't work. Now, where is the one that does work? That's 50. I think I bought a replacement. Not one. I already have it out. Oh, I had it out the whole time. Right? 1056. Yeah. Litter to wood pellets. That's cool. I've never looked into that. I really hate this glare that's like on my iPad. I did go to school for art. Oh, frick. I hang on, I just made a big boo-boo. Oh my god. Yeah, I was definitely like into art like always. Um and I made that like my study focus even when I was in high school. So, because you kind of like had to pick like a pathway to go into, and so I went for art, and then I went to school for art. So my freshman year of college, I studied at Memphis College of Art, which is now closed. But I ended up leaving there after my freshman year and transferring to the college, a small college that was in my hometown, so that I could save money because I got like a really good scholarship from there, and I could live at home. So I made the switch just for money purposes, really. Um, I still continued to study art. I kind of flip flopped around from the different areas that I wanted to focus in. So, um, I was like interested in photography or painting and graphic design and blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, I ended up actually concentrating in art history, um, because the professors, and again, it was a very small college, so there was just like one professor for everything. Um, and we did not, me and several of the professors just did not vibe. But I really liked the art history professor, and she made me really fall in love with art history. Um, so when I graduated from college, I moved. I moved down here to Florida, and I was like, I sold all my art supplies. I was like, I'm done with art. I don't want to make it anymore. I was like, I don't enjoy this relationship that I have with art. Um, I wasn't making things that I liked or was proud of, and a lot of my college professors just made me not enjoy it. So I sold every paint, every art supply I had, um, and moved. And then maybe about 8 months after moving, I had a friend at the time, and I had shown her like some pictures of things that I'd done, and she had encouraged me to get back into it. So I bought a pack of colored pencils, and I started doing some drawing, and then I was like, oh, actually, like now without like the pressure of school, I do really enjoy this process. And so I kind of started getting back into it, and then I ended up becoming an art teacher. So I was working a retail job. I was working at Ulta. Art teacher. But I still really wasn't making art. Like I was just kind of like casually, maybe occasionally doing something, but really not doing anything. The most creative things I was doing was like making the examples for the projects that we were going to do. And after my second year of teaching, it was 2019, summer of 2019, I was like, I really kind of feel like a fraud, like always telling my students that they have to like draw every day, and meanwhile, like I don't do anything ever. So I was inspired by a friend of mine who has made an artwork every single day for the last like 13 years. She has not missed a single day in 13 years. She is such a powerhouse of an artist. She's so cool. But I was really inspired by her to get back into a regular art practice. So I like attempted the whole everyday situation, but very quickly realized that that's not sustainable for me and my lifestyle. But the attempt at it really helped build up the art making practice, and I tried being a painter, and I tried doing abstract stuff, and I got into pet portraits. I was doing pet portraits for a while in watercolor. I tried doing human portraits, and I dabbled in some fan art and things like that. But then I started finding, I went back to colored pencil, which I hadn't touched in several years. And I liked how it felt a lot better than when I was working with the paint. It felt more natural to me. And then I started doing birds kind of around the same time that I started using colored pencils again. So it all just kind of came together like that, which is a very long answer to the question that you asked. Yeah. Drawing paint a year and a half ago. Yeah, a regular practice really helps, and it doesn't have to be like the everyday kind of thing. But just like any skill, piano or a sport or anything, like hey, stop that. No, no, ma'am. No. Those need to stay on the wall. But yeah, just like any skill, you have to like practice at it to improve. And so it's always really exciting for me to like, let me go grab one. I have some of my early drawings from when I started doing the everyday thing. So my first month of attempting like doing something every day, I was doing these watercolor and pen drawings in this pink and blue palette. So I was gonna do this thing where it's like every month I have like a different like theme that I would be working with. And so for the first month I was like, I'm gonna work with this limited palette and draw animals. And so this was a bird I did almost 4 years ago. Which is really quite a shift in style and skill. Which, not that this is like bad, like it was like, I'm really proud of what I was doing at that time, but just what I do now is very different. And this wasn't very authentically me, because I was basing a lot of my ideas for this off of the style of another artist. Lee Ellickson, if you know who that is, she's on YouTube. I really love her as an artist. And so I was definitely trying to incorporate a lot of her style into it, which is not, authentic to me. But I mean, whatever, because it got me in the process, and then eventually I found myself. Where are my 100-day project birds? I think I just saw some. You know that there's like a Twitter post or something where a girl like texted her boyfriend asking if he had a paperclip, and he was like, "Yeah, there's one on the floor by the dresser." And then she like had a picture of the paperclip on the floor by the dresser. I'm like that. I'm that guy. So in 2020, in the early quarantine days, the 100-day project started. I'm doing the 100-day project now. The first time I attempted it was in April 2020. And the only idea for some reason I had was to do birds. And this was before I was into birds. So I was just like pulling up random pictures of birds, and I was doing Copic marker drawings. And then I was kind of dabbling in like pen and ink and some colored pencil and stuff. But like this is, so this is a year after the bird I just showed you. And 3 years before what I do now. Again, very different, but like getting closer to kind of honing into the things that I like now and the things I like to do, which is definitely like, working on the toned paper. And it's like before I had like the flower filler background, and here I'm just staying with what's true to the image and things like that. So that's just kind of like the path of evolution for me. But definitely like having a regular practice is really helpful. Like an everyday practice is really good, especially like if you want to see a fast shift in your abilities and development of your skill and style. And so that's why like the 100-day project is a cool thing, especially if you make it like specific. So instead of just being like, I want to draw for 100 days in a row, or paint or crochet, like that's not, it's like you want to have like a SMART goal, right? Where it's like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. If you pick like a specific thing, like I want to draw portraits for 100 days, and so every day like in graphite, right? So it's like specific, you know that it's going to be done in 100 days. Maybe you don't want to spend more than like an hour each day. And they're going to be like little 5x7 drawings. So there you have like 100-day challenge for yourself, and you'll have like a day 1 thing that you can measure and compare to like your day 100, which is like a really cool concept. And it's like not a big deal if you skip a day or miss a day or whatever. It just, like be gentle with yourself. But it can be like a really quick tool that you can use and improve quickly, potentially. But you also get out of it what you put into it. So I'm the kind of person who will like give up on something pretty easily. One, if I'm like not immediately good at something. another reason is because like I get bored really easily, like definitely like some ADD, hyperfixation, brain. Um, and so I can like lose interest in a concept very quickly. Um, and so I need some other sort of motivation. So that for me with this 100-day project was to um find a way to make myself accountable for all 100 days. And I decided that the best way to do that was to make my project a fundraiser. So, the sale of each of one of my drawings for my 100-day project um, will benefit the a local wildlife rescue sanctuary by me. And so I like called them to tell them about it so that they know that this is happening. I tagged them in it each day. Um, so that and I like told people I was doing it too. I was like, I'm doing the 100-day project, and also now I play the game on Instagram where people guess each day what they think my bird is going to be based on like a sketch before I really kind of get into it, or I'll like zoom into it to obscure things, whatever, depending on how easy I think the day will be. And that also holds me accountable because now people like really like playing this game. And there's a prize for the winners at the end of the 100 days. So the last time I did the 100-day project, I only made it to day 20. And now today is day 33. So today is officially 1/3 of the way through the whole project, which is crazy to me. Sorry for the camera jiggle. I just want to like it looks so like warped and out of perspective because the camera's not like dead on it. think there needs to be a little bit of green. Not that green, I don't think. Mm. Maybe that green. No, definitely not that green. Is this the one I just had? Maybe this green. Ooh, maybe this one. I think I'd like to get the head and some of the plants done today. I think that's my goal. Hmm. I just added in like a little bit of like bluish green because there's a little bit of iridescence in the photo, like just a little hint of it. Um, and it's like a real subtle thing, but I think it looks cool. I mean, it doesn't show up on camera like at all. And there's like a little bit of green, but I don't think this is the right green. And there's a little purple too. I'll get to the purple in just a second. So I'm gonna take a break in like a minute to stretch and fill up my water because I realized I didn't do that before stream, and so I've gone the last 2 hours without water, which, you know, would not recommend. And I'll probably grab a snack too. And my big thing lately has been like when I'm working to have on in the background. Number one, I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld. And number two, the other day I started watching like best of Top Gear series. So like it'll be like best of series 15. Um and I used to love Top Gear. Top Gear UK. Forget that American bullshit. Like Top Gear with like Richard Hammond and Jeremy Clarkson and James May, like that Top Gear. It's so good. I couldn't care less about cars. I don't know anything about cars. I don't care about cars. But I just love like the three of them together doing stupid stuff. Cracks me up. And so it's just like reliving like the best moments of the show. And I'm just like cracking up at it. So that's been my like go-to background thing. But I have been like doing Seinfeld also, which is like a show that I grew up watching. My mom loves that show. Loved it when I was a kid. Like always had it on like on syndicated reruns. And so it was funny because last night I got to an episode that my mom and I had talked about when we were in New York. So it's like the episode where they're all like on the subway trying to get somewhere, and then just like different things happen to each of them in their subway experience. Which I had like vaguely remembered, but not like, you know, shot for shot remembered when I was talking to it with my mom when we were like on the subway in New York last week or 2 weeks ago. So it was funny when like I turn on Seinfeld and it was like that was the episode that was on. I was like, oh, that's funny. Like that just, you know, I was coming up to that one. And there's definitely like some still even like 30 years later, like shared experiences. Like apparently New York doesn't change. Chores. Gross. I'll do mine. I need my kitchen and bathroom cleaned. Where is 30% cool? Ah. Oh no, I didn't charge this. My iPad's gonna die. Wait, that's just white. There it is. Free trip to Florida. Um, if that's what you think it would be. Where's what?